Recording. Recording. Finish.
Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. ثم ما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى وخير الهدى هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة. أما بعد, if the brothers can come close, except that you have some like condition your back or something. This is from the way of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions. They will come close, and inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, Allah reward you inshallah. We continue with Kitaabul Jaami min Bulugh al-Maram li Shaikh al-Islam al-Hafiz ibn Hajar al-Asqalani al-Misri al-Shafi'i rahimahullah tabarak wa ta'ala, wa nahnu fi Kitab al-Adab fi Hadith Abi Hurairah in the Bukhari wa Muslim. حق المسلم على مسلم ستة إذا لقيته فسلم عليه. When you meet him, you give him salams. وإذا دعك فعجبه. And if he invites you, then you answer the invitation. وإذا استنصحك فانصحه. And if he seeks some advice from you, then give him advice. وإذا عطس فحمد الله فاشمته أو في رواية فاسمته. And if he sneezes and says Alhamdulillah, then you ask Allah for mercy and forgiveness for him. وإذا مرض عاده. And when the one is sick, then you go to him, you visit him. وإذا مات فاتبعه. And when the person dies, you pray over him, you follow him to the grave. هذا حديث نحن فيه ونسأل تبارك وتعالى أن يعلمنا من علمه وأن يهدينا إلى سبيل الرشاد. And we ask Allah تبارك وتعالى to bless us to comprehend and to give us some of the knowledge that he has imparted. And we ask Allah to guide us to a guided path. Ameen. Tonight, Tabarak wa ta'ala, as we started the last class, we were talking about the first part of the hadith. And again, we said that, number one, the ulama, when they talk about the wording or the sigha, the context of this command form, then they have two views, two perceptions, two ways they look at it. The first one, they said wajib. Wajib meaning that you have to do it. Wajib, the term in Arabic, similar, equal, the same as fard. And we mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned in the hadith concerning the sadaqatul fitra an ibn Umar, forward an Nabi ﷺ sadaqatul fitra. He said the Prophet made fard. So we know that not only Allah makes fard, but the Prophet does too, which is from revelation, not from his own self, but from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then both Allah and his messenger make wajib. As Prophet told Ali on the day of Khaybar to call them to that which, and he used the term ma awjab Allah alayhim, that which Allah has made wajib. Awjab Allah, that which Allah has made wajib. So we know that the Prophet and Allah, they both make wajib. So this is the first point. Whenever you hear command form, the first thing you think of is that it is wajib, it's compulsory. As the scholars, they said, al-amru yaqtadi al-wujub. Whenever there's a command, then what's sought from you is that you treat it as if it is compulsory, wajib. The second thing the scholars, they mention, whenever you hear a command form, of something, then it may not necessarily mean that it's compulsory. It may not necessarily mean that it's wajib. It may not necessarily mean that if you don't do it, there's a sin on you, but it's emphasized and is stressed because of the great benefit as if it is something that is compulsory. So these were the 2 points, 2 qawaid, our usul principles that we mentioned as it relates to this hadith, because everything in the 6 things that were mentioned is in the command form in the language. We also mentioned that, as the ulama have mentioned, whenever there is a hadith, hadith and akar, and it goes against the other hadith, then you should try to discard one of the hadith. Then you should not accept either one of the hadith, or should you try to find a way to work by both of them. The last one, mashallah, tabarakallah. Say, I got to get the bag of chocolates. Maybe I get some ginger candy because we need people to stay awake. So, the ginger candy would be nice. Now, and this, we said, as the Prophet mentioned about the one who has a problem between him and another, you cannot stay away, you cannot avoid, you cannot leave off giving that person communication, even the salams, beyond 3 days. So you take that hadith and you take the first hadith, and either you say one of them is general, which is the command, the other one is an exception, or you say that one of them is general and the other one is general, but it is in a category that is an exception to the rule. So one of them may be rukhsun, you have the permission because of the nature of what commotion and anger does between people, to get yourself back in line, to get yourself together so that you can exercise the origin of the salams. If salam bainakum, give the salams between you, as the Prophet has mentioned, and the Sahih Muslim, which other scholars have taken that text and said, see, giving it has been proven to be wajib. We also said, while there is a discussion about giving it, then there is no debate about returning it. And we mentioned this from the ayah of Al-Tabarak wa Ta'ala in Surah Nisa, إِذَا حَيِّيتُمْ بِتَحِيَّةٍ فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنِهَا أَوْ رُدُّوهَا. Naam, that when you are greeted with a greeting, then you give a better greeting, or you return the equal or like that which you have been given. So now, if you take that, then we said that it is clear if someone gives you the salams and that person is not a Muslim, then according to that ayah of Al-Tabarak wa Ta'ala, you give it back. And we said that some people have said the way to give it back is to say alaykum, as in the hadith of the Prophet, wa alaykum, as in the hadith of the Prophet, when the Jews said, Samu alaykum, death be unto you. Others have said that is for that particular occasion alone, and the ayah is to be understood the way the companions, as is mentioned by Abdullah ibn Abbas and others in authentic narrations in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir and others, that when the people of the book, the people who are Jews and Christians, will say Salamu alaikum, the companions will say wa alaikum salam back to them, following the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is where we left off the last class. You have in many of the books Kitaabul Salaam. Kitaabul Salaam meaning, again, whenever Kitab is mentioned, that means everything that's in that category is going to be relevant to what comes after kitab. So if salams is after the word kitab, that means everything is going to be relevant to what? Salams. So the Prophet ﷺ, he had a way to give the salams. And this way, as Imam Nawawi has mentioned in the chapter of Kayfiyati Salam, how do you give the salam? Then many scholars said it is recommended to give the salams in this fashion. The man, he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And in this case, Imam Nawawi said the man said it in the plural. So for example, if it's you and one person, and you are a male and they are a male, then you use ka, which means you in English, salam alayka. Many people don't know or understand that. So if someone does that, people who are used to hearing salam alaykum look at you strange, like, what's that? But you're talking about the pronoun ka for you, masculine, singular, ki for you, feminine, singular, who, you hear radiyallahu anhu all the time. Who meaning he, radiyallahu anha, like ha is for her, radiyallahu anhum, whom is for them, like this. So if a person is 101, if I walk into the room and I see Abdurrahman, I can say Salamu alayka. I don't have to say Salamu alaykum, because ka means you. Ka means you. And if a person was to walk into the room with his wife or his daughter or his mother or his aunt and they're Muslim, he can say Salamu alayki, like the key that you turn when you put in your door. Key is for you, feminine. Ka is for you, masculine. So ka is for masculine, singular, while ki is for you, singular, and kum includes everybody. So this is why many of the scholars, they have said to say it in the Sighatul Jama, is better, because no one is left out. It's a rich way of speaking. So even though it's me and Abdul Qabid, I can say Salaam alaikum. Somebody will say, well, why'd you say it in the plural? It's only you and him, because it's richer in the language. It's stronger in meaning. And no one is left out, including if there's an angel there, if there's a jinn there, the meaning is stronger. So this is the point that Imam Nawawi he makes when it comes to Salaam alaikum. But however, if the person is alone, then you can say it in the singular. A man came in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this hadith is in the Sunan of Abi Dawood. Write this down. Sunan Abi Dawood. Sunan. S-U-N-A-N. Sunan. This means the recordings of what the Prophet said and did. Sunan. We normally hear Sunnah, but Sunan means the things that the Prophet did. Sunan Abi Dawood. Sunan Imam Abi Dawood. This hadith is also collected in the Jaami of At-Tirmidhi. So you put At-Tirmidhi and Sunan Abi Dawood. This is the hadith of Imran ibn Hussein. Imran ibn Hussein. I'm going to get a board and have somebody scribe from now on, and people can look at the board and write. So the hadith is collected in where? Abi and At-Tirmidhi. Now, these are the imams that recorded the sunnah, the sunan of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The hadith is narrated by Imran. Imran ibn Hussein. Can you say Imran? With the ayn. Imran. Imran ibn Hussein. Imran ibn Hussein. Imran ibn Hussein. This is the companion of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is the same one that in the hadith in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet sallam was asked by him about the Salatul Maridah, the prayer of the one who's sick. Anybody have an idea what he was asking the Prophet when he used the term the one who's sick? Huh? Speak up. Let us tahi. Huh? Does he have to pray? That's good. That could be, yeah. Does he have to pray? Because some people may think I'm sick, so I'm exempt. Anybody else?
Do you have to get up when you pray? Or can you just lay down while you pray?
So you think what he meant when he asked the Prophet to pray of the sick, do you have to get up or can you just lay down? That's a good way of thinking of it. Anybody else? What do you think he meant when he asked the Prophet about the prayer of the sick?
What's the dua we say for the sick?
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Allah bless you all. What is the dua that you say for the sick? Imran ibn Hussein, he asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the salat, mada salatul marid, about the prayer of the sick, meaning kayfa yusalli al-marid. How does he pray? And the explanation, they said, kana marid bimada bawasir, bawasir. Bawasir in Arabic means hemorrhoids. Anybody ever had hemorrhoids before? Oh, somebody laughed. That must have been a nice thing for you, huh? You laughed. Tarid yani ta'adi lahada. You want to go back and have it a second time? Oh. Hemorrhoids very painful for those of you who don't know. And this is the same companion in the hadith that we're talking about with the salams. To answer your question, yes, you have to pray when you're sick based upon your ability. And that's what the Prophet told him. Sallu qa'iman. Pray standing. فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ. If you can't physically, qa'idan, then pray sitting. فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَعَلَى جَنْبِهِ. And if you can't pray sitting, pray lying on your side. That means with your feet facing the what? Qibla. So now, you also have in the narration of Imam al-Nasa'i, وقال سماحة الشيخ العلامة الإمام بن باز في إسناد جيد. Imam bin Baz, he said, this chain in Nasa'i is good, where the Prophet ﷺ also said, فَإِن لَمْ تَسْتَطِعْ. The third thing was on your side. First, standing. You can't stand, too much pain, don't put yourself through it. Sit. You can't pray sitting, it's aggravating, too much pain, it hurts. Lay down on your what? Side. On your side. Jambi means side. On your right side, the ulama, they describe this, on the right side. And then in the narration in An-Nasa'i, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَإِلَّمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَالْمُسْتَلْقِيًا عَلَى ظَهْرِ. Then if you can't pray, lying on your side, because guess what? Somebody's side might be messed up. And the Prophet ﷺ said, if you can't do that, then lay flat on your back. With your feet in the air. With your feet behind you. With your feet facing what? The Qibla. Hakada. So for all of those people in the countries that if you're sitting with your feet facing the Qibla and they hit your foot with the stick, because they feel this is disrespect. How can you have the very thing that you walk on the earth facing the direction of sujood, the direction of qiyam, the direction of the salah, the Qibla? Well, in this hadith, Prophet ﷺ commanded even the one who's sick, who's not able to stand, to put his feet in that direction. This is the rule, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَحَيْثُمَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وَجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. Wherever you may be, have to face in that direction, in that area of, and this includes your whole body. And if you have an exception to the rule, then what you must face, yani, is your feet with the rest of your body lying on your side or flat on your back. As for all of those hadith, and then we'll get back to the hadith of Mughira ibn Shu'bah, Imran Sakfurullah ibn Hussein, as it relates to the Salaam. As for the hadith of yani, praying by blinking the eyes. Anybody ever heard of that narration? If you can't move, some people have narrated in their books, Salat bil Ain, pray by your eyes. That means if I'm bedridden, I can't move, but I'm conscious, and my eyes, I'm able to blink, then this is my takbirah to ihram, one blink. Then this is my yani al-Fatiha. Because remember, I can't speak, I can't move, but I'm coherent. I can, realize what's going on in my mind, in my heart, my decision. Then this is my yani ruku'ah. This is my raising. That hadith is mawdu'ah, fabricated on the Prophet ﷺ. So there's no such thing as yani salat bil ayn, praying by the blink of the eyes. Rather, you pray by your niyyah. By your niyyah. And that's what the Prophet told the man who was Imran ibn Hussein, based upon your ability, your attention, you pray, yani mada, standing, if you're not able to, sitting, and if not, then on your side, and if not on your side, then you pray lying flat on your back. Nah.
Eyes are no good, you said.
Huh?
You said the eyes, that's
Fabricated. Prophet ﷺ did not say that, and you'll find it in the books of the people, but it is not authentically reported on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tayyib. So Imran ibn Hussein, he said, Ja'a rajulun ila nabiyyu sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A man came to the Prophet. So this shows you what? The people used to come and visit and go and see who? The Prophet. This is how you understand, this is how you gain fiqh of the hadith. Because sometimes we sit and listen and we don't understand a thing. If he said a man went or came to the Prophet, that means people used to go visit what? People used to go see what? Yeah. So then that man, as he reached the Prophet, فَقَالَ سَلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ. He gave the salams to the Prophet in this form, Salamu alaykum. So that man, the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith said, Radda alayh. The Prophet gave it back to him. So what do you see in this narration? The man said, Salamu alaykum. And the hadith, Imran ibn Hussein, he's witnessing this. So he's telling the story. He said, Radda alayhi. The Prophet gave it back. What comes to mind that we already mentioned? The Quran. Allah mentioned what? If you're greeted with a greeting, do what? That's right. You see the way the Prophet ﷺ looked and viewed the Quran. Not as something that, like us, we put on the shelf or we read it but we don't practice it. We actually see the Prophet practicing the ayah. That's why Aisha called him, when they asked, they asked about his character, she said, khuluquhu Qur'ana. His disposition and things that he did was as if he was the Quran in person. Ka'annahu Quran meshi. As some ulama said, this means as if he was the walking Quran. Meaning the Prophet actually emulated the words of Allah. You have, in school, you have theory, and then you have what? You have theory, and you have what begins with an L. Lab, application, right? Don't just sit in the class and read the book. You have to do what? Homework, class participation. So, Yeah, that's true. So this is a perfect example. The Prophet ﷺ returned the salam to the man. So the Prophet ﷺ told that man, alayhi salatu wasalam, as it relates to the reward, he said Ashra. Ashra means 10. So that means for simply saying with the true intention of giving salams, understanding the salams to a Muslim, you get how many reward? 10. Subhanallah. For one statement to your brother, for one statement to your sister, for one statement to the believers, you get 10, and that is Salamu Alaikum. Then another man came. That man, he added, Wa Rahmatullah. Sometimes you hear the people say, Wa Rahman to Allah. La. Mush Rahman to Allah. It's Rahmatullah. Tullah. Can you say Tullah? Tullah. Tullah.
Tullah.
Tullah.
Tullah.
Not la. La. Tullah. La. La. Tullah. Not la. Tullah. Put your tongue la on the bottom of your teeth. La. Rahma. Rahma. I want to hear that high like when we said, when we mentioned Ibn Hajar's name, Ahmed. Rahma. Rahma. No, Rahma. At the end is ha. Rahma. Rahma. Now if you take that last letter and connect it, it becomes Rahmatullah. If you stop on it, it's as if you're saying what we would say a H, ha. But when you keep going, you have to as if it is a T. So Rahma really is Rahmatu. You're adding to Allah, to Allahi. Rahmatullah. Drag your tongue to Allahi. To Allahi. Rahmatullahi. Everybody. Rahmatullahi. 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 Fadal.
Rahmatullahi.
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 Tullahi.
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 Rahmatullahi.
Rahmatullahi.
Tullahi.
Tullahi.
Don't say to Allah. Tullahi.
Tullahi.
Rahma.
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 Tullahi.
Tullahi.
Very good. MashaAllah. Next.
Rahmatullahi.
Again.
Rahmatullahi.
Barakallahu fikum. Next.
Rahmatullahi.
Allahu Akbar. Next.
Rahmatullahi.
Next.
Rahmatullahi.
Next.
Rahmatullahi.
Next.
No more.
Wallaha. Ashra Hasanat. You don't want her to have 10 Hasanat? Rahmatullahi. Aywa. Barakallahu fik. So this is important because, again, you could say my intention, Allah knows my heart. I need this, I need nutq is very important. You're saying Allah's name. You want Ashra Hasanat. You know, the boss tell you at work, if you do this, you're going to get time and a half. You do that work and then the boss give you regular time, you're going to be upset. But guess what? If you don't do the work right, the boss ain't going to give you time and a half. You sleeping, the boss can give you time and a half. He'll send you home. So you want this reward, you got to put an effort. You have to, love it. And if you love it, then you'll go after it. And if you go after it, then you'll get 10 reward. So the second man, when he said, Wa Rahmatullahi, Allah's messenger said for him, Ishrun. He gets 20 rewards. So the first one, Assalamu alaikum, Ashra, 10 reward. If you add to Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, you get 10 more, which is 20. Then another man came and said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And the Prophet said for him, 30. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Not come, kum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Kum.
Kum.
Salamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
People be saying come because they're used to the English phonetics. Salam alaikum. La. Salam alaikum. You hear the difference between kum and kam? Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Who can tell me which one is right? Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. The first one or the second one was right?
First one, right?
Somebody said second one. First one? Again. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Which one was wrong?
First one was wrong.
First one. Aywa. Cool. Now, so this hadith shows you how to give the salams. If you want 10 reward, salamu alaikum. It's no sin on you if you stop there. If you want 20, wa rahmatullahi. Don't say wa rahman. La. Wa rahmatullahi. If you want 20. If you want all 30, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Which is 30. And this is the hadith of Imran ibn Hussein. This hadith is in the Sunan of Abi Dawood and the Jaami of Imam at-Tirmidhi. So where is the hadith collected? In Abi Dawood and who is the companion that narrated? Imran ibn Hussein. Now, the Prophet ﷺ once was with Aisha. And he said to her, Ya Aisha, O Aisha, Jibril yusallim alayki. Jibril yusallim alayki. Said Jibril was with me, he came to visit me, and he sent salams upon you. That's magnificent. How would it be? Imagine right now. You were living in the time of the Prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The angel that's in charge of revelation, he comes to the Prophet on a regular basis. Sallallahu. He is the most beloved of the malaika to Allah. And the Prophet told you, Jibril gave salams to you, Salim. Jibril gave salams to you, Abdullah. Jibril sends his salams upon you, and so and so. How would that make you feel? That's azim. And that shows you are what? Important. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you because there's no way Jibril can love you except Allah, He loves you. So although all of the Muslims are beloved to Allah, this is a special thing that He told the Prophet ﷺ to give the salams to Aisha. And Aisha, she said, Wa alayhi salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alayhi. What does it show you? This is one of the proofs that there's different ways to say the salam. In the first person, Salaam alaikum. Someone saying it back to you, the second person, Wa alaikumus salam. And the third person, how many times you talk to somebody and you say, yeah, man, I'm with so and so. And he said, yeah, give him my salam. You said, the brother, he sends his salam. So this is what Aisha said. Yani wa alayhi salam to Jibril. But he wasn't there. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So this, one time this happened, we were in a particular place. We were in Charleston. And my wife said to her sister, Salaam alayki. The sister, she didn't know anything about alayka, alayki, alayhu, alayha, alaykum was the only thing she knew. Alaykum, you all. So she started a big argument with my wife. Where you get that from? That ain't the sunnah. And really, she messed it up to the sunnah. She said, that ain't the sunnah. And so my wife was patient with her, She said, no, sister, mashallah, you could say Salaam alaikum, or you could say Salaam alaiki to a female in the singular. And she said, I never heard that before, And they love to throw the Shaikh name around. She said, I studied with Shaikh Atli for many years, and I never heard that she used the Shaikh as the scapegoat. Allah Mustaan. Instead of just saying, I didn't know, or I never heard of that, mashallah, thank you, sister. Everybody doesn't know everything. She argued the point. And here we have the text from the Prophet ﷺ, where Jibril used that pronoun for the female, Salaam alayki, to Aisha. Jibril yusallam alayki, the Prophet said, using the lowercase for the kaf, showing that you can use it singular or plural, and you can also in the second person, third person, as we see in this hadith. Everything in the deen has a explanation, a reason, and an evidence. Alhamdulillah. And this hadith is in the Bukhari and Muslim. Also, you have the hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, an Anas radiyallahu anhu. He said that the Prophet kana idha takallama bi kalima. This was a way of the Prophet ﷺ when he would speak to a people, when he would speak to someone. And the Prophet ﷺ kana adaha thalatha. He would say it, 3 times. Ada means to repeat it. Thalatha means 3. So sometimes, you may witness somebody, he says, Salaam alaikum. Salaam alaikum. Salaam alaikum. And you think, man, what's this guy doing, man? He playing with the deen, man. He making up his own thing. Well, you have the hadith of Anas, where he would say this to alayhi salatu wasalam. Prophet would say like this to people sometime. And this was one of his practices. Doesn't mean that he always did it, but this is one of the things, the Prophet would say it to emphasize it, to, make sure the people heard. There's a lot of different reasons, to show them that you can say it more than once. Suppose you come in and you say, Salaam alaikum. Your wife is there. She don't respond. What do?
Say it again.
You say it again?
Because she might not heard me.
She might not heard. That's a good reason. What do? You come in and you give salams. Your wife is there. There's no TV on, no radio, no Quran, nothing playing. House very quiet. You're loud like me. Salaam alaikum. I'm loud even when I try to whisper. Allah Mustaan. She doesn't say anything. What do?
You awake?
You awake? MashaAllah. That's a good one. But there's no harm if you say it the second time, right? Because maybe she didn't hear you. The second time she might say what? Might give salams back. Wa alaikum salam. Don't go in and say, did you hear me give you salams? Subhanallah. See, sister, you're not following the sunnah. You have some people that are extreme like that. Give her time. Maybe she had the earbuds in her ear. She was in her ears, doing something. Maybe you didn't say it loud as you thought. She didn't hear you. Maybe the water was running in the bathroom, the door shut. You didn't hear that, but she's in the bathroom. Maybe the second time the water's off, she hears you. Then she answers. Don't say, I said it twice and you didn't ask me to the third time. What's the matter? You got an attitude? You got a problem? Nah. La bas. If you say it twice, if you say it 3 times, alhamdulillah. And this is the hadith of Anas, and it is in the Sahih of Imam al-Bukhari. And Imam al-Nawawi added, if this is a large group, because this is another reason. If you have a lot of people, you come and say, Salaam alaikum. The people to the far left that's closer to you may hear you. But what about the people in the middle? Or the people to the far right? They might not what? hear you. So as you proceed, Salaam alaikum, then the people in the middle might turn around and say, Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hakada. Now, so this is one of the reasons Imam An-Nawawi said in Riyadh al-Salihin that the Prophet would do it if he came upon a large number. Now, you also have from the hadith of Miqdad, that the Prophet ﷺ, if they would go to the Prophet and they would take him something to drink from the drink of the milk which the Prophet used to like, then they would give the salams to the Prophet ﷺ as they were giving this milk to the Prophet. So what do we learn from this hadith? Even if you're bringing something to somebody, it's from the adab of the Prophet ﷺ not to just take, here's your water, here's your food, here's your tea, honey. But you give the salam as you approach to give that thing to the person. Because again, as Imam Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned the salams, it's not just a statement, but every time you give the salam to a Muslim with meaning, you sow the seed of love between the Muslim. That's why we said salam is not like hello, although it's a greeting. They're similar in that regard, but there's no comparison. Hotek, peace, respect, deuces, none of that can compare to assalamu alaikum. Now, also, and the Prophet ﷺ would give the salams back to those people who gave him the salam when they came to give the milk and the hadith of Miqdad. So, if someone comes to give you salam alaikum and give you something to say, okay, thank you, say, wa alaikum salam. Or you could say, what? Wa alaikum salam. Barakallahu fikum. If you want 30, you say what? Ahsantum. Very good, yes. And then you can say, shukran, barakallahu fikum, because the return and the salams to the Muslim is the obligation. Also, you have the Prophet ﷺ, that the Prophet ﷺ, once he passed by the masjid, and to show you that the Prophet would go by the masjid. He wouldn't just sit in the masjid like some people think. I heard some brothers say, Akhi, I don't want to work because it's too much fitna. I'm a talib al-ilm. And he sit in the masjid all day. All day. From 8 in the morning, after Fajr to Dhuhr, he take a nap for Dhuhr. He's the masjid until Asr. And then from Asr to Maghrib, somebody might say, MashaAllah. But the brother didn't work. He had a wife, wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. And she was the as we say, the breadwinner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Rijalu qawwamuna ala nisa. He didn't say anisa, qawwamina ala rijal, that the women, they take care of the men. La, it's the opposite. But the brother felt it's too much fitna outside. Women, they nude, naked, that he just stay in the masjid. And this example shows you that this is khilaf sunnati Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the opposite of sunnah in his way, because in this hadith Asma, the Prophet sallam, in this hadith, he was passing by the masjid, coming to check, going somewhere, in the area of the masjid. So this hadith of Asma bint Yazid, she says, Sallam, we're passing by the masjid. That's the first point. The second point, Rallahu anha, she mentioned this for a reason. That the Prophet Sallam marra bi masjid yawma. And there was yani, a group of yani, nisa sitting down. The Prophet ﷺ waved his hand like this, bitaslim. What is the meaning of taslim? Salam. So sometimes you find the brother say, Yahi, why the sister sitting outside the masjid? A'udhu billah. They hanging out. That's not from the religion. Man, they don't have no haya. They should be in the house. They outside, you know what I'm saying? Could be my wife. I'll put in idat. La hawla wa la quwwata. There's idat versus yani. I would pronounce the divorce, a talaq. He said, you know, this is not the way of the Prophet. And this hadith from Salaam, passing by the masjid, and some women were sitting there. Salaam waved like this and gave the salams. What is this a proof of? Something we mentioned before. That the man is able to do what? Yes. And some ulama, they add, remember, because we're talking about now, later on, where people's hearts are not as clean. By no means is the companion. So, you know, you have a lot of things that people would do by using the salam as a doorway to start those things. So some ulama say, إِذَا سَلَمَ مِنَ الْفِتْنِ. If it's a clean salam, you don't have nothing up your sleeve. You don't have any chance or probability of making a problem. But you got a group of women, they sit in, the Shaikh come up, Salaam alaikum, like this. Wallahi, this could be a security that people know, okay, the Shaikh is here. If something happens, we can run to the masjid. The brother's here, you know, he gives Salaam alaikum. Like this, it could be letting people know, you know, that they see them, you know, vigil, you know. A lot of reasons. But the point is that from this, we learn three things. One, women used to narrate the actions of the Prophet ﷺ, like in the hadith Asma bint Yazid. Number two, it's not proper to always just sit in the masjid according to the hadith. As you find, even the Prophet wasn't just sitting, he was passing by the masjid. And it may be that you see some women outside, traveling, sitting, doing something which is okay, so as long as they are in accordance with the rules of Islam, including at the masjid. Now, a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, Alaykum salam, ya Rasulullah. Alaykum salam. The Prophet ﷺ told him, La tukul alaykum salam. لأن ها تحية ماذا تحية الأموات أو كما قال. Said, don't say alaykum salam. Don't say alaykum salam akhi. He said, because this is what you say to the people who are in the grave. So this shows you there's different ways that you can change wordings, and those wordings have a different meaning. Somebody say, well, you know, it's just saying salam, like we say, people say ma'a salama. But ma'a salam is not like salamun alaykum or assalamu alaykum. Totally different. Also, you should never say to a Muslim, assalamu ala man ittaba al-huda. Peace be on the one who follows the blessings. Who can tell me why? Peace be on the one who follows the blessings. This is the real greeting. Assalamu ala man ittaba al-huda. Assalam ala upon man ittaba al-huda. Peace be on the one who follows the guidance. Meaning, if you follow the guidance, may Allah give salams to you. May He make you safe from all types of punishment, all types of affliction, including the grave and the day of judgment, if you follow the guidance. This carries the meaning that the person you're talking to did not follow the guidance. And the guidance here means that you followed the guidance of accepting Islam. And for whenever he would write, meaning dictate to the scribes to make the letters and send to the dignitaries and the kings and those people, if they were not Muslim, he would say, As-salam ala man ittaba al-huda. He wrote this to the non-Muslim. He dictated, in other words, for the scribe to write this in a letter. So the ulama, they said, based upon this, we know that you can't say that to the Muslim. Because the Prophet never said it. Nor the companions, nor the tabi'een to the Muslim. This is for the non-Muslim. So anytime someone says that to you, know that he doesn't understand and this should be corrected. One time, one brother, wallahi, he said this to me just a couple of months ago. Nice brother. He said, Salaam ala man taba'a huda. And I just, smiled. He was in the back seat. I was in the front seat. Of course, I wasn't driving. La hawla wa la quwwata billah. And so, I waited because I didn't want to hurt his feelings, and then I told him, I said, and I mentioned this hadith. He said, Wallahi, it says, Astaghfirullah, ya Shaykh. I didn't know that. So he told me 2-3 days later, he went and researched it. He said, you're right. Subhanallah. So, this is important. Don't think I'm just telling you to say this, say that. No, this is education for you. It's also, something that will help you in your fiqh, your understanding of the religion, because all of these different ways, they have meanings, and they are that which the Prophet taught us in his sunnah, alayhi salatu wasalam. Also, you have, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and then we'll go to the next part of the hadith. What time is it? 8:01. Tayyib. Also, you have the issue do you give the salams to a person who was an innovator? And this, wallahi, might take the rest of the time, especially if I get fired up, because there's a lot of evil tied to this. A lot of ignorance, a lot of, wallah musta'an, people not understanding or taking things out of context, following, something without proper knowledge. The first thing we will say is that what is innovation?
Any additions or subtractions?
Any addition or subtraction. So if I say 4 minus 2 is 2, that's bid'ah. You said any addition or subtraction. I know. I don't know. I'm asking. What is? Bid'ah.
Something that was invented in the religion that wasn't in the text of the messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or something that the tabi'eens did, or any of the companions.
So he said bid'ah is something that the Prophet is not recorded in his text, nothing companions did, nothing that the second generation we call tabi'een, because tabi' means to follow. So those who follow the companions, that's why they're called as a description, tabi'een. And then those who follow the tabi'een, they're called tabi', and you repeat it, tabi'een or itba' tabi'een. Technical terminology. So, the Prophet, do we have a hadith where he prayed and put his hands on his chest after he came from ruku'? No. Do we have any hadith that the companions did it? Tabi'een, any of them prayed, Sami Allahu liman hamidi, put their hands back on their chest? So somebody does this, we say bid'ah. According to that ta'rif, according to that definition you gave.
He could not know. I mean, if he's saying this is what Rasulullah said or something, but if he just doesn't know between that and then ignorance.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. MashaAllah. Key thing, if he didn't know. MashaAllah. What about if someone said it's possible that this could have been done based on this hadith or that hadith? Because sometimes hadith may not be clear. And this is a wisdom from Allah, by the way. There's some things the Prophet did, and then someone's mind could understand and take this from the hadith, while another person's intellect and mind will take that from the hadith. And this is the case of when you come from ruku, do your hands go back down or do they go back on your chest, right over left? Because the hadith is not clear on what's meant. It's just a wording, something the Prophet said. And this is why Shaikh bin Baz used to put his hand right over left back on his chest after ruku. And many scholars before him. While Imam al-Albani, at one point, he said this is bid'ah. He said, but if I was to pray behind Samahat al-Shaykh, al-Imam, Alama bin Baz, he said, then I will put my right on top of my left on my chest after ruku', because the Prophet said that he made the Imam to be what? Allahu Akbar Kabirin in the Salah. So what does this show you? That not every time somebody does something, and it's not clear that the Prophet did it or not, or the companions, Tabi'in, Tabi'in, that you can jump and say, this is a bid'ah, you're a mubtadi'. That's the point we're making. It depends. Nafsu shay, the same thing when you talk about types of bid'ah. You have a major and a minor of everything. If it's an issue of iman, you have major and minor. If it's the issue of shirk, you have major and minor. If it's the issue of nifaq, hypocrisy, it's a major and minor. Guess what? If it's the issue of bid'ah, you have a aywa. Naam. So minor bid'ah still leaves the Muslim to be a Muslim, while he has a sin for doing something that may be constituted as a innovation. While the major bid'ah will take the Muslim outside of Islam. Although, because of the rahmah of Allah, many of the scholars have said you still have to establish that that person doesn't know in order to not jump the gun and to make bloodshed and fitna. Still, the primary ruling, major bid'ah, takes you outside of Islam. One of the examples of major bid'ah is making dua to the deceased. It's something the Prophet didn't do. For sure the companions didn't, tabi'in, tabi'in. And that is what makes it bid'ah. Major, meaning it takes you outside of Islam. Making tawaf around a person's grave. Many of the Sufis, they try to argue and say making tawaf around a person's grave is not an issue of ibadah. So if you do it, it doesn't take you outside of Islam. This is a shubuhat, at least a misconception. At most, kadhab ala Allah wa rasulih. At most, it's just plain old lie. Because anybody who understands the issue of Hajj, the Prophet said, Khudu anni manasikukum. Manasik is ibadah. Nusuk is ibadah. Tawaf is ibadah. Salat is ibadah. Anything that Allah He loves, He's pleased with, is called ibadah. So now, is it thinkable that a person can go all the way to Mecca, walking, feet blistered, riding, buttocks sore, flying, tired, exhausted, going through the time zone, jet lag, whichever way you make it, on a boat, ship, and now he's walking around on the ground, hot sand, rocks, and this time the marble, and it's not pleasing to Allah? So how can you say the tawaf around the Kaaba is not ibadah? Simply to make the one who makes tawaf around the grave okay? No. Major bid'ah. So this is the first thing when you talk about bid'ah. You have to know what is bid'ah. They're called bawabit, things that constitute what is bid'ah. You just can't jump and make your own rules and regulations and things that, denote what is bid'ah. There's a protocol in Islam. Secondly, there has to be some differentiation between what's major and minor. And thirdly, there's always room for udhr bil-jahl. A person does not know. So what made me come to this issue, when you talk about someone not giving salams to the innovator, then there is a such thing. But many of the scholars have mentioned if it is major bid'ah, such as making tawaf around the grave and making dua to the deceased, and these issues are not new, then they said if you don't give salams to that type of person, la bas, because he in himself is not Muslim, showing the seriousness of making dua to the deceased, making tawaf around the grave of the deceased. If it's something that's minor bid'ah, then they said, yani, he is still your Muslim brother, she's still your Muslim sister, this is their right. They said except in one case, that you are doing it to make them leave the bid'ah. You are doing it with intention because we're close. He loves me, I love him, and if I don't speak to him, and then we argued already about this, he's going to think about it. He might say, man, you know what? Ahmed was right. Stuck for the let me make tawbah. But guess what? There have been some big mistakes when it comes to this issue, such as the Muslim boycotting one another and the non-Muslim society. And I remember back in the 90s, Wallah musta'an, anytime people thought that they had the right to, they would say, we're boycotting that masjid, or we're boycotting that brother for the sake of Allah, or we're boycotting you all. Guess what? We in America. It's a big mistake. You rule in Islam that you don't let the adversary, the non-Muslim, the one who is not from the people of Islam, see your differences. This is a primary rule in Islam. So what do you think if this group on that side of town is at the supermarket and some people from this group at the supermarket and they're not giving salams? Do you think the non-Muslim not seeing that? Do you think they have their eyes closed to that? And wallahi, in the history, Allah Musta'an, it became so bad, people were fighting. Oh, you calling me a kafir? You ain't give me salam, I'm a kafir? Boom! Hit the Muslim in the face. The other guy put a pistol on the Muslim. I'm going to kill you. Over this mistake. And you have an imam, not just once, but more than once in the history did this. In America. Die in Allah. It's calling to Islam. How did this happen in the history? And this shows you nobody, Allah Musta'an, is free from mistake. Nobody is free from mistake. Even in some cases when the issue got back to people of knowledge, they said, no, that's a mistake. May Allah forgive him, he meant good, but that's a mistake. Nobody has the right to do that. Why? Because you are the minority in a non-Muslim majority. La yajuz. Nah, la yajuz. And people don't like to talk about this because some people we respect and love, they made that mistake. Abu Muslima, he made that mistake back in the 90s. Barakallahu fihi. May Allah bless him. Wa afallah anhu. Forgive him. Wa kadhalik. Abdullah Ahmed Abu Wais. Rahmatullah alayhi. May Allah forgive him. Give him Jantat Firdaus and A'la. He made that mistake. And we have many cases, you see. That rule alone, if it was applied, wallahi, it would have saved that problem. The minority and the Muslim majority, forget it. If it is something between you and your brother or your wife, your husband in the house, then like if I boycott my uncle, he loves me, he's not going to tolerate me not giving him salams for 24 hours. He's going to at least make tawbah and try to stop drinking. Use your discretion. But it can't be because you have a desire just to do evil. You have to see that it has some benefit for that person. You doing that to the person is not because you want to get some off your chest. It's because you want to help that person leave that evil. You want to help that person realize his or her accountability. But the first accountability is with who? You, yourself. Now, So this, wallahi, normally we would have finished this hadith, but wallahi, Bab al-Salam, Bab al-Azim. The chapter, the issue of salam is magnificent. As you can see, look how much we got. This is the third class. Even on Sunday, we're supposed to be Bid'at Mujtahid, but so much benefit from this. We stand with this until, inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala, we finish the issue of the 6 rights of the Muslims. So this is where we lastly want to say also the issue of Alf Salam. This is something the people, they do Alf Salam, meaning 1,000 salams. These are some like acts of innovation. Maybe it didn't reach here, or some people do it culturally. But when I was in Egypt, Alf Salam ya Habibi, 1,000 salams to you, my beloved. Again, the Salam didn't mention Alf Salam. It mentioned the salam a certain way. So this just some benefit when we talk about the issue of the salams. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his help. Allahumma musta'an. Inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala, that ends the issue of the salam. The next part of the hadith, وَإِذَا دَعَكَ فَأَجِبَهُ. If he invites you, then you answer. We'll take 5 minutes for that, and then we'll stop, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. Imam Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymin rahimahullah ta'ala, he was asked, what if it's an issue where someone invites you to a place and they have haram activity or haram food and drink? Can somebody give me an example? And we have non-Muslim relatives where we might be invited to something where there's either haram activity or haram food and drink. Speak up.
Birthday party.
Okay, so walima. Somebody said walima, somebody said birthday party. So give me an example. What would be at a walima that's haram activity or food and drink? Music. No, akhi, this is halal Islamic music. Faddal. La musta'an. Somebody said birthday party. What's at the birthday? What's wrong with the birthday, akhi? Don't you have a birthday?
No.
You don't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's wrong with the birthday, akhi? Don't you think you're being too strict? You don't celebrate birthday? But what's wrong with a birthday? That's your personal preference. Suppose I do. What's wrong with that? Huh? He didn't celebrate his birthday? MashaAllah. She said the Prophet ﷺ only fast on that same day that he was born. For example, I'm born on a Friday. That's a bad example because you can't fast on Friday alone. I'm going to use the Prophet's example. I'm born on a Monday, so I'm fasting on Monday. MashaAllah ta'ala. So this shows, okay, some practice, And he said I was born on Yom Ithnain in the wording. I was born on a Monday. Naam. So this is like a commemoration, a way of showing thanks. Normally people don't associate a party with not eating. That's misery. We can't eat. So celebration, you want to eat. So what's wrong with the birthday? Huh? The how? The how? What's wrong with the birthday? If the Prophet didn't celebrate it, then what do we look to next? Companions. Did any companion, we know any of them did it? What about the second generation, Tabi'een? What about the third? So what are we asking? Where did this come? What's the origin? And the non-Muslim. They said this came from the Fatimiyya. Fatimiyya, or a group of people that they normally put them in the category of the Shia, and that's a big topic, a big discussion, but these people are not, believe it or not, when you talk about Shia being Muslim, Allah musta'an. They are not from the people who are in the fold of Islam, Fatimiyya. They are kuffar. The ulama, they mention why, and this is the case of the Fatimiyya. They were in northern Africa during that time, and the Muslims seen them doing the birthday of Isa, which they thought was the birthday, which they claim is the birthday of Isa alayhi salam. So it said, if they doing that for Isa, then we have more right to do that for our prophet. And so they started to drum in the street and parade. And to this day, the people claim this is showing love and respect to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wallahu musta'an. The point is, when you talk about a invitation to something that has a haram environment or food and drink, then it is clearly prohibited to answer that. So according to this hadith, many people think that it's general. Family reunion, some type of birthday party, some type of, social gathering where there's, people sipping wine. You say, well, akhi, I don't drink. I'm just drinking some ginger ale, mashallah. But la yajuz, it's not permissible. It's not permissible. Except, wallah musta'an, in two cases. One, maybe you have no other reason except you have to go because there's some evil that you want to try to change. And Imam Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if that's the case, then you have an exception to go. But let's be true with ourselves. You go to the family reunion, you go to a Thanksgiving dinner, and you ain't changing nothing. You eat, cranberry sauce and turkey, and you eating the yams, and you're having a great time. There's a problem between Aunt Catherine and Aunt Rosalind, and you claim you going to go and try to solve that issue because you're the favorite nephew, and you don't do nothing but fill your stomach and go to sleep.
Take a plate home.
And take 2 plates home. Allah musta'an. You go to the family reunion, they playing all type of music, the blues, this, that.
Electric slide.
Yeah, they doing it up. You say, well, I'm keeping family ties. La your juice. But if you really know that you're influential, they respect you, they're going to cut the music off and let you talk about your mother because the family reunion happens to be in commemoration of your mom who died. And you think for sure somebody may allow you 5 minutes, or they may change or think about something that they're doing that's wrong because of your speech, then Imam Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said it's wajib for you to go. Because tuzul al-munkar wajib. He said because to change, to bring down the barriers of something evil is an obligation if you can. Salaam, he said in Hadith Sahih Muslim, Man yara minkum munkran falyaghayrahu biyadih. Whosoever from amongst you sees an evil, and he can change it with his hand, and let him do so. فَإِلَّمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَبِلِسَانِهِ. And if he can't, let him change it. Let them change it with their tongue. فَإِلَّمْ تَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ. And if he can't, then let him hate it in his heart. وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. This is the least that the Muslim should do. Hate something that's wrong in his heart. But don't say I'm hating in my heart and you sitting in there doing all type of haram and you're silent. La. Except that you go with the intention to do something to change that evil if you have the ability. So this is one of the benefits of if they invite you and he then accept the invitation. The origin of this hadith of the Prophet when it comes to the invitation was for walima. The Prophet mentioned the best walima is the walima where the people are invited who are poor and rich, and the evil walima, the evil food, is where the rich have it and they don't invite anybody except the rich. And this is when the Prophet mentioned if they invite you, then you answer. Some of the ulama, they said if you don't have the ability, then you make dua for them. If you don't have the ability, something prevents you, it's too far, it's a hardship, you're sick, or you have something that's a higher priority than answering that invitation, then you excuse. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his help and his mercy. Wallahu musta'an, wallahu ta'ala a'lam. any question, answers, comments, corrections, and questions. You guys be silent. We're going to start giving the test the last 5 minutes of each dars. I might have a stack of them and pass them out. Next one, McDad,
where was he from the companions?
It's from the companions. Now, so tell me give me, Yani, from the floor, 3 benefits that you benefit tonight from the topic of the Salaam from any area. We mentioned a lot of stuff. Give me 3 benefits.
I never heard of
Some cat.
Assalamu alaikum, you said?
Yes, if you're talking to me, you can say that to me, ma'am.
First time hearing this tonight.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It's a benefit, mashallah. And what would you say if it's just your daughter at home or you have 2 daughters? Salam alaikum. Nah. And if you have 2, you can say salam alaikuma. Kuma is 2. 2 females, 2 males, a male and a female, as long as it's dual, kuma. Aywa. Hakada. Give me another benefit and tell me how you will use what you learned tonight in your life. Allah yadifikum. Inshallah. So you're going to say, Salam alaikum, Salam alaikum, Salam alaikum 3 times. Huh? People going to say, what's wrong with him? He crazy. Somebody else give me a benefit that you learned from tonight and how you're going to use it in your life.
You know, the differences, the understanding of differences between people.
Mm-hmm.
You give a big part of that, you know, not jumping to the conclusions immediately. 1, the person may be ignorant of it. 2, even if that's not the case, then, you know, you seek to maybe find out why the person's doing it. You try to find out you know, you don't just jump right to, oh, this person's clearly, you know, wrong or this or whatever. You have to do a little bit of some effort into some research.
Yeah, you pump your brakes. That's the first thing. Shh, 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 shh. Like you're in the bus. Pump that thing. Shh, shh. Yes, take it easy. And what happens if someone exercises what they learned tonight and someone say, where you get that from? What would you do? Say, man, you don't know that? You ain't never heard that? Or how would you communicate with them? What's the best way?
Go watch this class. He taping it.
I'm just getting ready to say, I'm showing my tape.
Shaikh taping it, go back to the class.
MashaAllah.
Even if you don't remember, grab them by the hand and say, let me get your information. I can be fine. I can't remember the exact part, and then you share it with them later.
MashaAllah.
You still have to
Alhamdulillah.
walk off and just
MashaAllah.
So you can send them, you don't have to do it in front of the people. You can send them an email or a
Yeah.
text later.
like you said, you waited till it was a good time. You were in the car with people. You didn't want to embarrass the person.
Yeah.
Because they may not take it properly. Sometimes pride, even something we don't think we have, but we all do.
Yeah, we all do.
Sometimes depending upon who it's in front of, like let's say, like one time you might talk to somebody in front of their children. They might be your best friend, but they might hear it better from you when the children aren't around.
Yeah.
It's just judging the situation, like having tact in the situation.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. And it could also be a positive reinforcement too, because sometimes the children need to see how you deal with the person if it's good etiquettes. They need to see, how they should grow up and deal, with regards to situations. So it could be either or. Jazakumullah khair. Tayyib, inshallah tabarak wa ta'ala. Next class is on Sunday. And we'll finish the hadith, inshallah ta'ala. And then I will be traveling next week for 1 week. I'm going to New York for Dawah, Manhattan, and Middletown. And then Philadelphia, we'll have some wedding, family member getting married from my wife's side. So the class will be, inshallah, resume. Somebody have a calendar.
Sunday gonna be
This Sunday is the last class until let's see,
you won't be there.
the 28th. I won't be here, and of course I'm going to come back that Thursday. So what's that Thursday? The 1st, August 1st. Time shall tabaraku wa ta'ala. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Bi'ithnillah tabaraku wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khairan. So Sunday at 7, bi'ithnillah tabaraku wa ta'ala. Make sure you bring your notebooks. وبارك الله فيكم. نسأل تبارك وتعالى يوفقنا بخير ويتقبل منا وأن يكتب لنا حسنات على ميزاننا يوم القيامة. We ask Allah to accept from us, give us a good deed, make it weighty on our scale on the day of judgment. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأتوب إليك. بارك الله فيكم.
Make sure you bring that bag of candy.
Inshallah. Sugar free, inshallah. Sugar free.
Recording. Finish. Recording. Recording. Record. Finish.